When I see a 20-year-old come on TV and they be talking about, oh my God, life's so hard, da 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 da, yada yada yada, it's like good.
World. This is what people don't understand. I say this and they go, oh, why do the celebrities talk about depression then? Why do the people in charge talk about depression? Because they have good lives. I'll tell you why. Because it's a control mechanism. Everything I just told you all about slavery, everything I told you all about the people in charge, the elites trying to keep the slaves in line, depression is one of the tools they use. If they convince you that depression's real, you are too busy living inside of your own mind and being selfish to look around you and understand the real world. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you think that the people in charge of Earth are going to let someone become a Hollywood celebrity and have massive influence and let them say whatever they want? No, they're going to tell them, you're going to talk about depression, mental illness, and you're going to do it in a way pretending you care about it, but really you're going to promote it. You're going to convince every sad person out there that they cannot fix it and there's nothing they can do about it, so that they stay sad and stay depressed, because if they start to wake up and feel happy, they'll look around and realize that they're getting shafted. So let's keep them all sad enough to not do anything about it, but okay enough to still work the machines. It's a control mechanism. Depression is used by the elites to keep the poor people oppressed. It's another mind trick. You're all sad. It's okay. You can't help it. You're all sad. You can't help it. It's bullshit. You can't tell me I'm fucking sad, and you can't tell me I can't help it. I don't care if you're Angelina Jolie or what doctor, whoever the fuck you are. You cannot tell me I can't control my mind. Andrew, if you got depressed, you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. I reject that. I reject that absolutely. If I got depressed, I would fix it because I'm Andrew Tate. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, really, Angelina Jolie? Oh, shit. Well, I felt sad yesterday. Maybe I'm still sad now. Maybe I am depressed. And then you just become another cog in the machine. It's all a control mechanism. And the more people who buy into this, the worse.
That's funny because you do that.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so I feel like I've been ranting for too long. So let somebody else take this first. Randy.
First.
Yeah, ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay. I actually agree with Mr. Tate. And I do because when I think of depression, I was immediately thinking of grief. And from coming in a place in my life where I had to deal with grief pretty hard, I think although I still kind of reflect on it at times, like, was that to the extent of the time frame of how long I was grieving, was that necessary? Or could that have even been cut down, to maybe even a day? And then I could have continued on my journey to be a productive citizen versus dwelling in grief. So when he says, yeah, it's strictly a mindset, yeah, I see that. But I think people do, it's life, right? We do take seconds of, hey, here are my few moments of grief, here's my few moments of depression, but to really snap out of it and to keep pushing forward is the ultimate strength, for sure. Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree. Like, depression, let me give you guys some deep secrets. I struggle with that. But the reason why I struggle with that is because me as a person that's finding these pieces, I want to be complete. And because I'm looking at the other side of the fence. I'm looking at the world that I'm trying to get to. And I'm like, oh, I'm still here. And that does seep in. But also with that actually wills me too. And I think that depression in general has been more used as a
handicap.
Right.
Versus like, okay, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Okay, you don't like your money that you're making? Like, we're in America. Fix it. You want to make some more money? Like, there's tons of ways to make more money legally. If that means you got to get 2 jobs. Like, I've never been paid $20 in my life. but I've earned $20 worth of pay. Because I was like, okay, you know
I see
what?
you're saying.
I didn't have that college degree. I wasn't able to get that job. I wasn't able to get picked for this particular position. I didn't go and cry in the corner and, oh, they don't like me, this, that. Cool. This job pays $10.50. This one pays $11. Combine them together and work them both. Because my paycheck may say differently, but when I put it in my account says, oh, your gross deposits was $5,000 something dollars. Oh, because if, like, you know, it's like a saying, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know, and I think that sometimes people sometimes get fixated on the actual instead of what it actually can be. You know what I mean? I got 2 glasses of water, but I want a full glass of water. Okay, well, what are you going to do? There's a few options here. Either you put 2 of these glasses together, or then go out there and turn on the faucet and fill them both up. Which one you want to do? Which one can you do? So, like, with depression, like, see, athletes battle that, but they don't.
Battle what?
Yeah, because, like when I played basketball and stuff like that, I was never like the best person on the team. I wasn't the best shooter on the team. I knew that. I didn't allow that to really consume me all the way. That just still I use that as a will to still be, you know, push myself to just go. You know, Jordan and Kobe miss a lot of shots, but they still wouldn't be who they were today. Because, okay, you missed a shot, so what you going? You're not going to take it no more? Not going to take the shot no more? So you're not going to be who you are then. So he's absolutely right in so many ways where it's like depression is kind of made into like a, you know, do you battle with it? Yeah, because your reality is not what you want it to be. That's frustration to me than depression. But like I always say before, you know, the English language has so many different words that can contradict.
Yeah, that's interesting, the difference between frustration and depression. Because if you, like, I started thinking about it when you said it, and they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like elongated frustration can probably feel like depression. Like you're frustrated that you keep running into the same wall or something.
Yeah, you know, that's frustration. So frustration builds, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I thought this clip would be interesting because recently, well, I want to say that the science or medical institution has kind of changed what the public idea of depression is. Mm-hmm. And this is like because of a recent study. But so I think, you know, for the most part, or let me know if you disagree. I think for the most part, the public perceives depression as like a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Of what?
Serotonin. Well, if you would listen to the old science.
I understand that, but this is to go like a little bit of a step further. People coming up, you have to be frustrated or go through frustration, go through depression, go through hardships, go through things to become something else, right? Mm-hmm. So like Muhammad Ali, he didn't become the greatest overnight. He had to learn how to take a punch.
Right.
You got to take a punch to give a punch. So once you learn how to take a punch and you can give more punches back, you can conquer that. Like this is the issue that I kind of have with today's world. Unfortunately, it's like because of the technology, people feel like that they shouldn't be going through any hardships at all. And I'm like, but that's not like life in a sense, like, because hardships and frustration moments or whatever, that you learn from that.
Yeah.
and then it makes you a better person overall.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seems like society, so many words is trying to skip that. Like, how do you skip that? Whereas like you're not gonna come straight out of high school at 18 years old and you know everything. No possible way.
No, I don't think you can skip hardships.
But I think that's what they try to do with using these words. Like I'm 40. When I see a 20-year-old come on TV and they be talking about, oh my God, life's so hard, da 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 da, yada yada yada. It's like, good.
Right.
You supposed to. Yeah, you supposed to be bumming it. You supposed to be collecting y'all money together as friends and
ramen
putting it
noodle
in the
life.
gas tank.
Yeah.
You supposed to be sharing your money to go get a Whopper and split it in half and split the fries. You know, you supposed to, work at a job and not get paid what you're supposed to.
Or work at a job for free. Or work towards something for free anyway.
Yeah,
not necessarily at a job.
Like, not to even taboo, like a great friend of my dad and a great friend of me. Like, I worked at this meat market and he wasn't paying me correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it bothered me. And my dad didn't even do nothing about it. And you know what? The self lesson was like, what do you do about this, Chris? Next time, I make sure before I sign any paperwork, I see what I'm getting paid. So if there's a rebuttal, I'm going to say it right then and there. I'm not going to just sign up into something and just walk right into it and not know nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that like depression or frustration or any of those words like that, you know what I mean? Like that builds the character of a person. And that's what people are lacking now, is character. Because they want it now. Like, these kids don't know nothing about dial-up. Remember, we had to get on and we had to wait.
Doesn't that kind of relate to like what we were talking about previously, though?
Yeah.
About like people getting together and
yeah,
like we're saying that like the men have to build themselves up. The women want it when they get it. They want it.
They want it right now.
They want it to be present. Let me read this article though. So it was saying it was basically about the misconception that depression is a chemical imbalance. So I think we can safely say this is after a recent group of researchers conducted. I'll just read it. I think we can safely say that after a vast amount of research conducted over several decades, there is no convincing evidence that depression is caused by serotonin abnormalities, particularly by low levels of or reduced activity of serotonin, said the review's lead author, Jonah Moncrief, I can't pronounce her name, a professor of psychiatry at UCL. She added, many people take antidepressants because they have been led to believe their depression has a biochemical cause, but this research suggests this belief is not grounded in evidence. So I guess what the backlash from this has been, and I think like media is trying to cover it up a little bit, because on one end you have big pharma who wants to push antidepressants, right? That's big business for them. And so now there's kind of, well, what the researchers are saying that scientists and doctors have always known this wasn't a chemical imbalance thing. But they would also say that the antidepressants that would try and deliver or level out your serotonin, it wasn't necessarily clear whether that helped or not either. Mm-hmm. So some think it might be a placebo effect, just the fact that they're saying they're giving you a medicine and it's going to help you. And that's why it helps. And some are saying that maybe there's a chance that, some kind of chemical imbalance is happening with you, but that wasn't necessarily your depression. But since that other thing was fixed, then maybe that depression was fixed. And some of them are saying antidepressants are bullshit. Like none of them work. We shouldn't be describing them to people for depression.
Because depression, in my opinion, because like in the nursing field, we have objective data and subjective data. So obviously objective data is basically we don't have to ask a question, we see it.
It's factual.
Yeah. Subjective data is what the patient claims of what it is. And then like what on a on a doctor's thing, I can't talk about doctoring stuff like that at all like that, but it's the opposite of what it's the opposite because the doctor is that makes it for what the person thinks it is. Like, so it flips like two ways. So just from getting the information, subjective, objective. So it's like, this is what the person is basing it off of. But see, there's no measurement. And that's the thing that they're missing, in my opinion. There's no measurement of depression because people deal with things differently. Like, this person could be depressed that their goldfish died, and then this person could be depressed because he broke up with his girlfriend for the 5th time.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, which one is more important than the other? You can't really
it's going to feel it might feel the same to the same people, right?
Exactly.
Even though you'd be like, fuck that goldfish. Or you might be like, fuck that girlfriend. Then you might have somebody whose grandmother died, and you can't they're all going to feel the same thing. And most people might be like, yeah, the grandmother's dying is most important. But the feeling is equal to everybody.
Yeah, because there's no scale. So it's hard to really determine.
All right, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's no scale to it. And that's where it makes this really kind of difficult to kind of pinpoint it with a pharmaceutical solution. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because it could probably work for some, most of the pair in front, but it may not work for most. Because people deal with these differently. Like, some people can, like, for instance, lose weight. Some people could just actually eat right, and they'll drop like 10 pounds. And then people like me eat right and don't lose a pound. I have to physically go and run for 3 weeks to lose 2 pounds. Like, you can put two people that lose 10 pounds and tell them to go run a mile. And it's like one person is going to probably lose 5 pounds. The other person might lose 2.
Right.
But the goal is that they both lost. But it's not measured. And so with this, they're trying to measure something that's unmeasurable, in my opinion. Depression is unmeasurable. It just depends on how the individual copes with it. And because it's a subjective data.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because let's face it, when people are depressed, they can also self-medicate with whatever they want. Whether it's a drink, whether it's, so even aside from just pharma and what they can prescribe, some people just prefer not to even deal with that. And
I'm like how most people, when they're frustrated and things like that, it's a ton of things they do. People go have sex. I like to drive fast in a car. I'd like to do the first thing too. You know what I mean? I like to go pull up and eat some good food, conversate with some good people. You play the video game, use some measures to kind of escape maybe a little bit of the reality of what I'm going through. Like, there's a ton of things that you can do.
There was somebody saying like the act of just existing, being a thinking thing in reality or whatever, just a being that has as much access to thought as we do, it in itself creates a state of miserableness. Because just like the act of us doing what we have to do comes like first from scarcity. Like, we got to eat, we got to stay warm, we got to stay alive, we got to not get eaten. So all those things in itself create despair. Mm-hmm. And like all you do in life is just get moments of happiness, where maybe all of these things are taken care of, or maybe they're not taken care of, but you're just not thinking of. They're in the back of your head for just this moment. Like you were saying, you're playing video games, so all your problems are in the back of your head. You're happy when you're doing this. Turn off the Xbox, and now you see all these problems back in front of you, and you get back to
back to reality.
Back to reality, back to the grind. So there was one person who was saying depression is actually natural. It's the natural state of people people expect that they're supposed to be happy most of the time, but really you're in a state of scarcity most of the time.
And when you think about that, it's absolutely true. Not to cut you off, but when you
No,
think
you
about it,
didn't.
look
That
at
was
the
me.
things that you have to do to survive. You know, survival.